This is the kind of belly fat nobody wants, but almost everyone carries. And here's the thing, it isn't just the fat you see in the mirror. Beneath the surface, there's a much more dangerous type called visceral fat. This hidden fat doesn't just make your stomach bulge. It actually wraps around your vital organs, releasing inflammatory chemicals linked to heart disease, diabetes, and even premature death. Now you might be thinking, if it's so bad, I'll just remove it with liposuction. The truth is, not even surgery can reach visceral fat. But here's the surprising part. You can reduce it yourself, and it's often easier to shrink than the regular fat you see on the outside. With the right plan, you can start noticing results in as little as 30 days. So, stay with me because in this video I'm going to walk you through exactly how visceral fat works, the foods that make it worse, and the strategies that melt it away. And if you haven't already, take 2 seconds to hit that like button, share this video with a friend, and subscribe to the Health Loop so you never miss life-changing health strategies like this one. The hidden danger of visceral fat. Visceral fat is sneaky. You don't always have to look overweight to have it. Some people look relatively slim on the outside, but when scanned, they're carrying huge amounts of visceral fat inside. That's why doctors call it a silent killer. Unlike the fat under your skin, visceral fat interferes with hormones, damages insulin sensitivity, and puts pressure on your liver, pancreas, and heart. Over time, this dramatically raises the risk of metabolic disease. But the encouraging news is that this type of fat usually responds very quickly to the right diet and exercise plan. Why calories aren't the whole story. When it comes to normal belly fat, calories are the main factor. Eat more than you burn, and you'll gain fat. Eat less, and you'll lose it. But visceral fat doesn't play by the same rules. Two people can eat the exact same number of calories, yet one will pack on far more visceral fat than the other, simply because of the types of food they're eating. A 2014 study put this to the test. Researchers gave 2 groups of healthy adults the same amount of extra calories each day, in the form of muffins. For one group, the muffins were made with polyunsaturated fats, the type found in fish, nuts, and seeds. For the other, the muffins were made with saturated fats, the kind you find in butter and fatty meats. Both groups gained weight, but the saturated fat group gained double the visceral fat compared to the polyunsaturated fat group. Even more fascinating, the healthy fat group not only gained less fat but also built more lean muscle. This shows us that it's not just calories in, calories out. The quality of the fats you eat directly affects how much visceral fat your body stores. How much saturated fat is too much? Most experts recommend keeping saturated fat under 20 to 30 grams per day, about the amount in a few tablespoons of butter. But many people easily double that without realizing it. A ribeye steak, for example, contains nearly 50 grams of fat, almost half of it saturated. Add breakfast, lunch, and snacks on top of that, and the numbers skyrocket. Does this mean you should cut out steak, cheese, or butter completely? Not at all. The key is balance. Swap in leaner cuts of meat more often, eat fatty fish a few times a week, and round out your meals with nuts, seeds, and avocado. These small shifts lower your saturated fat intake while increasing the healthier fats your body actually uses to fight visceral fat. The sugar trap. But fats aren't the only culprit. Sugar plays an even bigger role in building visceral fat. And the scary part? You may be eating far more sugar than you realize. Bubble tea, for example, can pack 50 grams of sugar in one drink. Breakfast cereals, flavored yogurts, juices, jams, even condiments like ketchup. Many of them are loaded with added sugars. And research shows that fructose, the type of sugar found in table sugar and high fructose corn syrup, is especially dangerous. In one study, people consumed drinks sweetened with either pure glucose or pure fructose. After just 10 weeks, the fructose group gained significant amounts of visceral fat, while the glucose group didn't. The fructose group also developed worse insulin sensitivity, setting them up for future weight gain and disease. Now, before you panic, eating fruit is not the problem. Fruit contains fructose, yes, but it also contains fiber and water, making it very hard to overeat. The real issue is processed sugars hiding in packaged foods and drinks. The protein advantage. So what can you do instead? The best swap you can make is replace sugar with protein. In a 2005 study, participants were simply told to increase their protein intake, without changing anything else. Over 12 weeks, they naturally ate fewer calories, lost more than 10 pounds, and most of it came from fat. Protein not only helps reduce appetite but also creates the ideal environment for shrinking visceral fat. Even small swaps make a big difference. For example, instead of loading your coffee with cream and sugar, mix in a scoop of protein powder. Instead of caramel popcorn, try plain popcorn topped with sugar-free syrup and a sprinkle of protein powder. These swaps cut out sugar and saturated fat while adding protein that supports muscle and burns fat. Why visceral fat responds fast? Here's the great news. When you go into a calorie deficit, your body usually burns visceral fat first. Even modest weight loss, just 10 pounds, can shrink visceral fat by up to 30%. That's about as close as science has ever come to spot reduction. And while a calorie deficit is the most effective overall, there's one more powerful tool that works even without weight loss: exercise. The best type of exercise for visceral fat. Not all exercise is created equal when it comes to this hidden fat. Research from 2023 showed that while all forms of exercise help reduce visceral fat, two stood out: moderate to high-intensity cardio and interval training. These workouts raise catecholamines, the fat-burning hormones that specifically target visceral fat. And the best part is, you don't need to train for hours. Just 15 to 25 minutes of interval cardio, 2 or 3 times per week, can create noticeable changes. Here's how to do it. 1. Warm up for 5 minutes. 2. Push hard for 30 seconds. You should be breathing heavily. 3. Recover for 90 seconds at a lighter pace. 4. Repeat for 6 to 10 rounds. That's it. You can do this with sprints, cycling, rowing, or even the elliptical. Add daily walking, aim for at least 8,000 steps, and you'll accelerate results even further. Putting it all together. Your 30-day plan. So, what does this look like in practice? Balance fats. Cut back on saturated fats and replace them with fish, nuts, seeds, and lean meats. Reduce sugar. Swap sweetened drinks, snacks, and condiments for higher protein alternatives. Eat more protein, support muscle, reduce cravings, and burn fat. Move daily. Walk consistently and add interval cardio 2 to 3 times per week. Stay consistent. Even modest effort over 30 days can shrink visceral fat dramatically. And the beauty of it. The changes often show up not just on your waistline but also in your energy, mood, and long-term health. Visceral fat might be hidden, but it doesn't have to control your health. By making smarter food choices, adding the right kind of movement, and creating balance instead of restriction, you can shrink it faster than you think. And listen, if you found this video helpful, don't just click away. Do me a favor. Hit that like button right now, share this with a friend who needs it, and make sure you subscribe to the Health Loop so you never miss practical, science-based health strategies that actually work. Stick with these steps, give it 30 days, and watch how your belly, your energy, and your health transform. I'll see you in the next video.